It's not quite as noisy as it was a little while ago, but there's still plenty to come.
Yeah, a lot of action going on out there tonight, and it's not very often you get thunder, lightning when you got surface temperatures in the 20s and 30s, but we're getting that today, and I'll explain why here in a second. But all that action is going to continue for the next couple of hours, and it feels like forever ago, but these were the high temperatures today. Most of us did get into the 50s, 55 for Sawicki, 58 for Albert Lea, 54 degrees for high today here in Mankato, but that cold front moved through pretty quickly from west to east, and that has dropped those temperatures now down to 33 degrees here in Mankato. And even though temperatures in Mankato, Sawicki, Albert Lea are kind of around 33, 34 degrees, we've had some thunderstorms roll through, and that is because temperatures higher up in the atmosphere are still pretty warm with that warm air that's been settled in over the last couple of days, and that's led to enough instability where we've been getting that thunder and lightning, wind starting to pick up as well behind that cold front out of the northwest at 18 miles an hour. And you can see where that cold front is now, pretty much along I-35 to the east of there, still near 50 degrees into Rochester, 34 Sawicki again, 33 degrees here into Mankato, and then to the west already down to 28 degrees into Worthington, where there's some snow coming down at this time, starting to make its way towards Windham. We got some thunder snow going on again because we have enough instability higher up into the surface. Rain thunderstorms to the east where temperatures still a degree or two above freezing, and then right where we're near freezing at the surface, we got some freezing rain occurring right now, and that's going to be the main threat over the next couple of hours. You can see starting to move into Blue Earth, the western half of Blue Earth County into northern Kossuth County. Had a lot of freezing rain going on into some of those areas for the last about 2 to 3 hours. That'll continue to move east over the next hour or two, and we've had some thunderstorms move through Sawicki County, Blue Earth County, and about 9:30 here at the station, we had some pretty good hail going on, ice pellets. I'm going to get this right eventually, but that went on for about 5-10 minutes. We had reports of into Fairmont, Blue Earth, as well as Sawicki, but everything now again starting to move to the east. And we do still have winter weather advisories in effect for the counties in purple until tomorrow morning, and that is because of all the moisture that we do have on the ground, and with those temperatures dipping below freezing, most of us into the mid to upper 20s by tomorrow morning, that is going to lead to a lot of icy spots, slick conditions out there. And for instance, as we go into Windham, there wasn't much precipitation throughout the day there, but you can see how wet those roads are, because even though the radar was not picking it up in some spots, there was kind of a lot of light freezing drizzle and light drizzle going on today because we had humidity at the surface near 100%. Now we go through the next couple of hours. Freezing rain, snow starts to move to the east as we get towards about 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. Everything starts to wind down. By about 4 a.m., 5 a.m., ice accumulations, maybe around 1/10 of an inch of ice, snow accumulations, maybe a 1/2 inch as we get done with this system. And then we start to get sunny as we get towards 10, 11 o'clock tomorrow morning. That wind will continue to pick up out of the northwest as that cold front makes its way through with gusts around 20 to 30 miles an hour. We will get a break with that wind as we go overnight Saturday, but then the wind starts to pick up early Sunday morning out of the southwest. It's going to switch from the northwest to the southwest, and that is going to start to warm those temperatures up for the weekend. By Sunday, we're talking high temperatures getting into the 60s, and overall with this 10-day forecast, temperatures staying pretty nice as we go through next week, staying above average with temperatures mostly into the 40s and 50s.
All right, thanks, Daniel.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Sports Extra is up next.